There is something we need to discuss when it comes to XRP. Two critical points coming up in the coming days, particularly the Coinbase versus the SEC case. What's the impact that has on XRP, as well as a potential settlement and ETF. All of that in this video. Imagine that. Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything in the cryptocurrency space. And we talk about XRP pretty much every single day. So if that's something you like, smash that like button, turn your notification bell on. And with that being said, let's dive into exactly what we are talking about. So here is a $3 billion disgorgement for Ripple. What does this mean? Well, there is a long disputed legal battle with the SEC. Now, at the minute, it is 3-1 to Ripple, but we are obviously waiting for the settlement. A lot of anticipation is coming right now, and the potential price tag, $3 billion. Now, this is what the SEC put on it based upon those secondary sales of the XRP token. Now, we know that Ripple has refuted this for the longest time. Whether this will actually go through ultimately is a debate. The quote is here: this worst case scenario for the firm is if Torres rules XRP ODL sales were investment contracts. This will result in the firm paying a fine of $3 billion to $3.5 billion to the SEC. Now, Reactor pointed out that regulatory assets said that since suing the firm in December 2020, Ripple has sold about $3 billion worth of XRP. In addition, the SEC has also argued that this one set of the lawsuit, the company sold and registered securities in 2013 to raise $1.3 billion. All of this obviously coming as we move even nearer to that April 16th, April 24th court case for XRP. Now, we know there's been a lot of discussions behind closed doors between the SEC and Ripple in order to try and come to a settlement. Now, obviously, the onset of those Bitcoin ETFs does ultimately set a different precedent when it comes to regulatory standards in the cryptocurrency space. But equally, the fact that there is a narrative shift to be more beneficial and positive towards XRP. Now, for those of you that don't know, we are obviously waiting on the announcement from Coinbase. They are ultimately in a lawsuit again with the SEC and have put a motion forward to ultimately try and get rid of these. There is, however, 4 potential outcomes. Shout out to Meta Lawman giving us the update on here. So what are those 4 potential outcomes? And more importantly, how does that affect the XRP case? Well, ultimately, the judge denies the Coinbase motion. Ultimately, this would be a win for the SEC. It would continue to move forward, and ultimately, therefore, we'll see in a year or so what this kind of all comes out in the end. Option 2, this is the one we kind of want. The favorable version to Coinbase would be that judge grants Coinbase's motion with prejudice. Ultimately, the entire case is dismissed and we move forward. This would be the best case scenario for both XRP and obviously Coinbase, because it would set a absolute narrative in line to the courts versus the SEC. Is this likely? Potentially. Option 3 would be we get it without prejudice, which ultimately they get a chance to amend the complaint and cure deficiencies cited by the judge. It's almost like the SEC gets a second bite of the cherry. So it's very much in favor of Coinbase, but the SEC gets to come back and change it. And finally, option 4 would be the motion with respect to the claims relating to the 13 crypto tokens, but denies with respect to the staking service, ultimately, therefore, makes it all about the staking part. Now, you might be thinking, well, why has that got anything to do with XRP? Well, ultimately, it is linked to a degree, and ultimately will be another either win or loss for the SEC, which absolutely would weaken or strengthen their position. Now, that's a lot of ifs, buts, and speculation. However, it is important to reference, even if there is a settlement based on $3 billion, if this was to be a win for Coinbase, this number would significantly come down. And I think that is worthwhile mentioning, because it ultimately will boil down to some level of payment. That's the reality of where we get to. You're not going to think the SEC is going to get out of this without a payment. You can see there, look, we see there the file for the final move of Remedies proceeding April 29th, 2024. The court will then decide regarding those remedies. So lots to talk about when it comes to XRP. We've discussed obviously a lot about XRPL and how that sits, but right now it's very interesting across open interest. Now, open interest is futures contracts that are open on XRP right now. You can see there the open interest about 60-cent mark. There's a significant amount. Even if we get to the nearest point, which is just flipping across now, we can see there Binance 174 million, 4.3 on BitMEX, as well as 165 million on Bybit. So lots of interest right now over on XRP. Likewise, what you generally see is an increase in the price, generally drives an increase in the open interest. And we're now XRP is pretty flat. We're seeing about a 0.5% move on the day, hovering around that 57 mark. But the open interest, I imagine, will skyrocket once we get some more clarity. And we could even see that as soon as Jan 17th. based on that Coinbase announcement. However, let me know in the comments down below, what is your vote for in the Coinbase case, and how do you think it affects the XRP case? I'm still super bullish on it. I'm buying XRP whenever I can, increasing that position, ready for when the SEC loses against XRP. That's my view anyway. Let me know in the comments, and as ever, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all of the latest and greatest in cryptocurrency. Check out some of the links in the description if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye bye.